the worst internet rabbit holes. That is what we're going to be discussing today. And I get it. The internet is far and wide, and it's a big ass iceberg that goes all the way down into the depths of hell. And yeah, you guys can easily convince me that there's gonna be stuff, there's stuff out there that's way worse than what's gonna be on this list. Okay, we're gonna be talking about those ones that are like, there's at the slightest bit socially accepted. Like, we're talking about those rabbit holes that you don't even need to do like an extensive amount of research to know how bad it is. And you know it's absolutely crazy when loot boxes are like the shallow end of the list. But that is what we're going to be discussing in this video. If you enjoy this type of content, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to hit 1K by the end of this year, and we still have 9 months. That's enough for someone to get pregnant and get a baby. And my little baby is this YouTube channel right here. So you better stay tuned for more content like this. And with that being said, let us get into the video. Alpha males. The thing about the types of people who make this kind of content is that some of the advices they give aren't even that bad. Or like they objectively mean good, like I don't know, start a business, go to the gym, start playing video games 24 hours a day. But then there's points where you just completely lose me, like how you start mapping the animal hierarchy into, or you try to map the animal hierarchy into the human society. And what I mean by that is like how you start saying that, you know what, you guys should follow your animal instincts. Men should be the dominant, stoic and disciplined hard worker, and then the women should stay back in the kitchen and be submissive. Like that kind of thing that derives from animal nature, it just doesn't work on human society. It's because we humans have like a significantly greater amount of IQ than all the other animals in the planet. And like when you put out a system from a not so sentient group of species and then try to apply it onto a more complex organism like ourselves, it just doesn't work. That's the first thing, right? And then the second thing is the people, like the consumers, right? The people who take in this kind of alpha male material. And again, the whole thing about like, okay, going to the gym, become a millionaire or strive to do so and all that shit. All of those advices work for people who are actually striving to improve. And those people who don't even need those kinds of advice in the first place. So the actual audience of the people who actually listen to these kinds of advices are the people who are just heavily influenced by those words and those words alone, and they themselves don't have the actual ambition to go out their way and actually achieve greater goals. Now let me explain this to you. The main reason why the alpha male community feels like so goddamn cringe is because there's like an insane amount of people who are preaching the exact same messages as the progenitors, like the original content creators. But the problem is that those same people haven't achieved nearly as many accomplishments as the original speaker. So there's like a massive gap in credibility between the content creators and then their audience. And as a result, they just look stupid. They literally just look so goddamn stupid. Like, okay, some people try to emulate their own like ideology into the whole alpha male scheme. And like, bro, but even with that, like, oh my days, bro, I just remembered that I've seen this one, like, I've heard this one advice from the alpha male community of like how if you wipe your ass after a shit, you're apparently gay. Like, where did you even get that from? Like, what kind of thought process made you achieve that, like, made you get to that conclusion and then consider that as part of self-improvement? That just makes absolutely no sense. And like, honestly, like, you guys are a bit weird. I feel like these alpha male people are just like degens masked behind self-improvement. And I'm gonna tell you what, self-improvement ain't all about words. That's just not how it works, bro. Just like, please. Stop trying to get yourself a deep voice and actually start working on your own hobbies or whatever. Like, come on, man. Politics. Bro, if I had the ability to make one group of people shut the fuck up, it's gonna be these people first, and then the neurological disorder addiction people second, and then the video game journalists third. These guys are so annoying to be around because what they say is it just bores me. It just bores me. You want to know why? You want to know why this is like the natural response It's because politics is built, or like political ideologies are built to be so shallow so that it can capture as many people as possible. It's built around making as many people agree with the ideology as they can, which is also why if somebody makes this like their entire personality, or like this, if the only thing that people talk about, or if the only thing that somebody talks about is about politics, then they just become the most boring person naturally, because they sound like any other one of the general population. They sound quite literally like an NPC. And if a guy starts getting passionate about politics in my face, I'm just gonna pat them in the shoulder and say, my brother, you are literally as significant as those blue blocks in the deep dark of Minecraft who relay the footstep sounds of a Minecraft player to the streakers. Like, that's literally how relevant you guys are. You're just annoying. No, you guys know the most annoying types of people who dabble into politics? It's those people who bring that shit into video games. Bro, I was watching a stream of my friend who was playing a peaceful Rocket League match, and he was matched up against an entire team one day of people who have their profile message as Free Palestine. Brother, can I not play a video game in peace without thinking about the real world? No, bro. You guys are so annoying. I'm trying so hard to break down why you guys are so annoying, but it just all boils back to me simply saying that you guys are so annoying. I'm gonna say this one more time. You guys are so goddamn annoying. And I'll be real with you, I can't put you above a bit weird, because there's so many of you, and you guys are so goddamn boring, each and every one of you, to the point that you guys can't be physically an anomaly enough for me to put you guys all the way up here. You know the best way to describe these guys, bro? These guys are completely quirkless. When people talk about fake people, this is probably what people are going to be talking about. So I'ma just give you one word of advice. Shut the fuck up. AI girlfriends. Bro, the reason why I consider this 100 times more sad than a guy who has a body pillow of their favorite anime girl is that you can excuse having an anime waifu with being a nerd, right? If you talk about your waifu, you're probably talking about the anime in general. They're what kind of narrative that your waifu represents, or whatever, or this and that. But with AI girlfriends, brother, it's just so blatant that you guys just want someone to talk to and be comfortable with, and you guys are just not able to physically achieve that. And there you go. Your compromise is to talk to a robot that's impersonating a human being, or in most cases, a cute anime girl. And brother, you just need an experience for you to go outside and test your conversational skills that you've experienced. Brother, if you can hold off paragraphs and paragraphs of conversations to your AI girlfriend, then you can probably do the same with people, with real people. So just go outside. But I ain't here to give you advice. I'm here to talk about how cooked these kinds of people are, bro. I know a few character.ai enthusiasts, right? And whenever I'm talking about anime, gacha games, or whatever to them, they start bringing up character.ai as a subject, because they have quote unquote personalities, or basically just robots pretending to be a bunch of anime characters that they want to talk to. And whenever I'm what do you guys talk to them about? These guys literally give me answers yeah, I virtually made 3 children with Shinobu from Monogatari. Huh? What? What do you mean you made You're telling me you're role-playing with a robot that you gave birth to 3 children? Nah, you're cooked. And they're okay. I talked to another guy who's also on a character.ai page. Okay, maybe not all of them might be that cooked, you know. So I go on and on about this a similar vein of conversation with that guy, right? And then I end up seeing this guy's chat history with that character.ai. I forgot which character it was. But brother, I don't even want to describe the type of messages that were being sent. This is, bro, the people who talk to AI girlfriends are in literal chambers. These chambers where no light of hope can reach. You cannot shine a lantern towards that chamber. You cannot light a candle within that chamber. Brother, these people need to touch grass. No, like actually. Bro, this entire invention got me to witness one of the pinnacles of human degeneracy. Brother, flying cars, they said. Oh my days. Loot boxes. I need to talk about the CS2 crates before the Overwatch. But despite the fact that I picked the picture as Overwatch 2 crates, I need to talk about the CSGO people. Brother, these people will keep buying crates and keys 50 times over. Try and get a knife skin that looks like the ugliest thing in the entire fucking world that somehow costs like 50 quid or like 80 quid. Right? Some of them costing like hundreds and hundreds. And then they resell it in the market. Yeah, these guys buy crates so that they can get an ugly ass knife skin to resell for hundreds of quid. Brother, that is literally just an online casino with extra steps. No, because like at that point, just go to an online casino. If you're playing CSGO just for the sake of spamming crates and then reselling them, like brother, what are you doing with your money? Because like, I'm not even joking. The CSGO skins are so goddamn ugly that I don't even understand how people get attracted to them. Like, one thing that I'll admit that Valorant is above CS is like, I shit on Valorant, okay? But the one thing that I do like above CSGO are the skins. The skins actually look kind of cool. And then there's CS, who can literally retexture your gun to be colored like literal dog shit. And then apparently it'll cost like 20 quid. I don't understand that. Okay, let's move on to loot boxes in general, right? Personally, I don't mind loot boxes given that like they're also available for free-to-play players. Like back when I was like year 6, when I used to play Overwatch 1 when it first came out, I was able to open like 2 or 3 loot boxes every now and then. And I was happy with that, right? See, I don't like those games where like you can't physically get an instance of a loot box without paying real money. I don't like those kinds of games. But like at the end of the day, they are all just like a form of microtransactions. Like as many free pulls a gacha game would give you, that is only the case because the game revolves around the gacha system, and it's made to further encourage people to buy roles with real money. Like, okay, maybe you were like 20 pulls short of hard pity and you weren't able to get the banner character. Okay, you're gonna put in some money and then get that character. Okay, that's fine. You know what? That's fine, right? I feel like that's acceptable. But if you're over here, right, spending grands and grands of money into literally maxing out the dupe system for every single character in every single possible gacha game, bro, you gotta chill. But like, I think loot boxes or like just like video game gambling in general, it's such a wide spectrum. Like, it could be worse. I don't think it's that bad. Like, it could switch between here and here like very easily, but I'm gonna put you in not bad. Lolicons. How do I defend myself? Actually, nah, I got an answer. You don't defend yourself from lolicon. You gotta treat lolicons and furries. Okay, furries we're gonna talk about in a bit, but you gotta treat lolicon content, you gotta treat furry content like they're cardinal sins. And to actually indulge in them, you gotta just say, hell is home, I am a heretic, okay? And like, okay, look, I get it, it's weird. No, it just is. Like, there's some people who at a genetic level will not be able to accept these types of content. I completely understand that. Like, first of all, like, lolicon is it's a completely Eastern media. Like I'm pretty sure like 90% of the opposition comes from the West. Actually, nah, I'll give it a 60% of the 60%, and then 40% in the East as well, because the East is still kind of iffy with it, and it's the same thing with furries. But like, furries are less prevalent in the East than the West, I feel like. That's just a me thing. But I want to get to the point of saying that it's straight up illegal like the UK does, because it's like that operates by the exact same logic as video games cause violence, right? And I'm gonna be real with you. The East ain't the ones who gave birth to Jeffrey the Big Bad Steen, nor did they give birth to P. Diddy. And that is just like the dub on the Eastern ends, I can't lie. But here's my problem with some of y'all, right? I'm not trying to group everyone up together for this kind of prosecution, but there's like a number of you, like, okay, I understand that you guys try really hard to gatekeep the entire lolicon thing because you don't like being called out for being weird, and you don't like being called out for quote unquote consuming cyberpunk abbreviated. And when I mention gatekeeping, I'm kind of doing a foreshadowing of what I'm going to discuss in a little bit. But like, one thing that some of y'all should not be doing is to try and normalize the concept of lolicons, okay? Because once again, there are people out there who cannot accept it at an instinctive level, and I think that is completely fine. And spreading the word, or like kind of like low-key blackmailing people, saying that if you find lolicons weird, then you guys aren't looking at the real world, or whatever stupid comment like that, is like, nah bro, that ain't it. Like, I'm gonna put you guys in cooked, no more, no less. Like, whatever is contained within the lolicon community should stay within the containment zone. Like I said, hell is home. You don't want to invade the overworld though with it, you know what I'm saying? Furries. Okay, these people are like the primary reason in why I understand the fact that some people can't accept certain types of media, and like they find it weird in like an instinctive level. For me, it's the furries, right? I don't know if this is like a genetic thing, because my dad, he openly hates characters with animal-like facial features and like a humanoid body, and also vice versa. So like human-like facial features with an animal-like body. And for me, I think that just emulated into the furries. But I would find furries really damn weird, and it's okay. I'm gonna just be blunt with it. It's the fursuits. It is literally the fursuits. Like, okay, let me explain. If I was back at the age of 5, right, and if in some shopping mall when I'm shopping with my mum, I see a guy in a fully clad fursuit buying their weekly groceries or doing whatever, I don't care what that guy is doing. As soon as I see that furry-ish humanoid figure, I am going to burst out in tears. I am not going to lie. That's what I mean by like a genetic no, okay? And look, I get it. Furries get like a really similar spectrum of accusations as lolicons do, as in like lolicon gets mixed up with cyberpunk abbreviated, and furries get mixed up with bestiality. So we've got like two parallels right here, who should both, with good reason, be considered cooked. Like, no more, no less. And it's just one of those examples where, like, personally speaking, I would find it weird. Like, if I was a little kid and if I saw a fursuit, I would shit myself. That's just how it is. I'm sorry. Mental disorders. That's a crazy way to open things up. I'm not talking about those people who have a mental disability. I'm talking about those people who know like every single symptom of every single mental disorder, and they try so hard to diagnose other people of mental disorders. I'm talking about those people, and I'm talking purely from experience. Okay, let me talk about that story, right? So I was in this pub, right? Just casually talking to my friends, right? And I think we were talking about some random ass topic like limbs. And then like just casually I was just bending around my thumb, right? And I didn't know at this point, like until this point, I didn't know that being able to bend your thumb the other way to like a right angle is something that a lot of people can't do. Like, do you guys have that special ability? It feels weird for me to even call it a special ability because I've just lived with it for a really, really long time. But apparently it's rare for people to be able to bend their thumb the other way for like more than 90 degrees. But anyways, I did that, and everyone was like, "Oh shit, you can do that?" Right? So we just start talking about that. And then this one guy comes in from like the table next to us, right? Let me just rename him Jonathan, right? Jonathan comes up to us from the other table and then goes up to me and says, "Hey, that's a symptom of autism." What the fuck? No, you're not making... You're telling me... No, that has to be like the most ridiculous diagnosis I've ever heard in my fucking life. Brother, I just bent a finger. I just bet my fingers differently, okay? How does that got to do with... Oh, brother! And the way this guy came up to me was that he literally jumped up with all enthusiasm and then came up to me and dropped that entire nuke of a statement with a massive grin on his face. Dog. Like, if we're in like the conversational topic of human psychology, and if we start talking about how we're like, how our like toes are kind of slightly dipped into this disorder, and then we go like, oh shit, yeah, fun fact, apparently having the power to bend your thumb the other way is a symptom of autism, then I'll be like, okay, that's kind of cool, bro. But when we're having like a randomized conversation that's got nothing to do with autism, and this guy comes up to me and says, yeah, you're neurodivergent. Like, if you get to the point where you just start coming up to people, absolutely zero context, and then you just become the court, judge, and jury on how your mind thinks, then like, brother, what are you doing with your life? Like, who asked? Like, when someone, you remember that trend back in like 5 or 6 years ago about like a bunch of people saying who asked to each other? I think those two words have been invented to talk to like use it to these kinds of people. Another spectrum of this rabbit hole, right? People who have like an entire list of disorders, or like an entire list of whatever titles on their profiles in their social media. Oh no. I never in my life would I want to put myself in a situation where I have a person like that remotely in my life. Oh hell no. Okay, if you put in on your profile, you're like, okay, I've got a little bit of ADHD, and that's completely fine. But if you're over here going like A, B, C, D, and then like if you start saying that I've got a crazy case of DID with 726 different personalities, and like I'm like at that point, like, are you trying to be special? Are you trying to rack up pity? I don't understand. Please just touch grass. I beg, please. Like, there is no universe where I can understand you people. I'm sorry. Like, shit. I guess I got a little bit of autism. I just bent my finger the other way. Ooh. Gatekeepers. Okay, yeah, I get it. It's like, it's annoying when someone comes up to your fan base just to shit on it for the fact that you guys are liking what you like. And like, okay, like the extent of gatekeeping that I accept is like the whole sentiment of, if you don't like what you're looking at right now, then don't look at it. Right? I think that's a fair dose of gatekeeping, right? But some people treat this shit like it's a full-time job, and it's absolutely baffling. Or like, there's other kinds of people who try to filter out their fan base so goddamn hard. Like, I'm calling out those FromSoft guys out there, right? Saying that, oh, but if you use the mimic tier against Melania, then you actually didn't beat her. Brother, shut your bitch ass up. The mimic tier exists in the world of Elden Ring, so that you can use it. Oh my god, is it not hard to understand? And by not using it, you are accepting the terms and conditions of, you are voluntarily making the game harder for yourself. You see, I understand, right? I beat Melania without a mimic tier because I wanted to do an honorable 1v1. I'm gonna get into a rant here, but I'm gonna admit some other stuff. Like, I used Egon when fighting Bale the Dread. I used the Horn Scent when I was fighting Mesmer the Impaler. I used Sir Ansbach when I was going against Consort Radahn. And if it weren't for the character story, if it weren't for the questline to be so majestically good in the DLC, I would not have put them in, and I would have soloed them. Because once again, I enjoy my honorable 1v1s and all, you know? And if people start to say that, oh, if you actually use those characters, if you actually use any NPC of any kind, that you did not beat the game. Anyways, let's talk about examples other than the ones that are trying to up the bar of entry to like an insane high. Let's talk about the ones that treat gatekeeping, the act of gatekeeping, like it's a complete 9-to-5 job. Brother, these guys are literally... I would argue that these people are worse than Reddit mods. And I'm gonna point out those anime gatekeepers in particular. Yeah, I am having beef with literally everyone, in case you haven't noticed by now. But, you anime people? Yeah, now brother, I've got a question for you guys. Tell me a time within the last 6 months where you've talked about an anime or like a character or like some part of the culture that you're trying to protect that you like. Like by talking negative about these tourists, you're basically doing the same thing as them. You're just sounding like as miserable of a person as the people who are shitting on your fan base themselves. Like, I'm gonna quote One Piece, and I've only watched One Piece from clips. I've not watched a single episode of it, but I'm gonna tell you what. It's got banger quotes, and one of those quotes is to talk about the things that you love rather than the things that you hate. I'm gonna be real with you, that is a banger quote, but anyways, like, come on, man. You gotta be part of the fan base and not just be the town guard at the gates, okay? You gotta be a citizen within your own kingdom, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put you guys in a little bit weird because you guys get a little bit too passionate with things, but again, as long as it's controlled, I mean, like, I don't see anything crazy terrible, I guess. The VTuber tracker. Brother, we're so cooked. We're so cooked. What do you mean a sector of humanity consumes this kind of content? Brother! Oh! What is the use of this? What is the use of this? Am I expecting a conversation with a guy who avidly goes to the tracker website and then expect that guy to say something like, oh, so we got this and this VTuber ovulating today, so today those guys are gonna be my material. Like, what? What is the use case of this? What is the purpose of this thing even existing? Like, I'm gonna go up to a guy. Like, I would go up to a guy and go, so you watch VTubers? Yeah, I watch VTubers. What's your favorite VTuber? And I'll be like, okay, I like Laplace Darkness. What about you? Yeah, it depends. And then I'll ask like, okay, what do you mean it depends? Right? And then the guy will be like, yeah, let me check. Opens up his phone. Opens up the default browser on his phone. Right? Searches up the VTuber tracker. Here, and then he'll point at all of the VTubers that are like currently ovulating or whatever. And then the guy will be like, yeah, today I like this and that VTuber. Brother, you need to be locked up. You are at a point of no return if you have like, if you don't find that absurd, like, look, you should be locked up without question and without a smidgen of doubt. You are at a point of no return, and there is no redemption for such a tainted soul. Oh, and there you go. That is the ranking of the worst rabbit holes in the internet. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit me up with a little bit more video suggestions down in the comments, and if you got to this point of the video, then I appreciate that as well. I'm gonna try and go for 2 uploads a week. I mean, maybe 3 on a good week. But I am going to be dishing out more content to just yap about. And I've been talking about coding videos for a while, and I have not dished out like any of it. The hackathon video doesn't count, okay? I'm gonna try and upload something that I can actually show. Eventually. But anyways, that is it for this video, and I shall see you next time.